أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداع إذا دعان فليستجيبوا لي وليؤمنوا بي لعلهم يرشدون.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, I will be taking you on a journey with myself, selecting some ayahs from the Quran and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has in store as a message in Quran for us and how we can benefit from this message. So today I want to start with one of the ayahs that speaks about how and why Ramadan was prescribed to us. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyam kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clearly tells us that why do we fast? Why do we fast? So that we can sleep more? Or do we fast so that we can eat more? Does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْرَبُونَ وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَأْكُلُونَ? No, my brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you could come close to Allah, so that you could become God conscious. So if we are not coming close to Allah, understand there is something wrong with our fasting. It's not something wrong with Ramadan. Ramadan is there so that we can come close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And not the right reason, or maybe we're not fasting for the right reason, or we're not fasting with the right intention. And where does this fuel and where does this right reason come from? And what is that fuel in order to understand what fasting is? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in ayah later, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that this is the month. The month of Ramadan is a month when Quran was revealed. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the fuel in order to understand what fasting is and how you can fast and how you can come close to Allah is Quran. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us three things in this ayah. The first thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, هُدًى لِلنَّاسِ. And what does هُدًى لِلنَّاسِ mean? هُدًى لِلنَّاسِ mean that it's the guidance for nas. It's a guidance for humanity. And understand, even if people do not understand Quran, if people do not understand Arabic, people are still reading Quran. People are still coming to masajid. People are still fasting. People are still trying to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The word هُدًى لِلنَّاسِ is actually a guidance for everyone. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about the second fuel that will help you in order to achieve the best out of your fasting. And that is وَبَيِّنَاتٍ مِنَ الْهُدَى. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that it's a clear proof of guidance. It's a clear proof of guidance. And how do we know if it's a clear proof of guidance? Majority of us actually do not understand what Arabic language is. Majority of us, we stand for salah, we just come out conditioned, or our ears are, it was really good to hear the recitation. It was so amazing. But really, we don't really understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. And we have to understand Quran. And this is where we need to know Arabic language. We need to know what the clear proof is. What is the clear proof of guidance? And that will only come from knowing the Arabic language. Reading definitely will get us close, will give us the kick, will really make us love the Quran. But in order to really love Quran, we need to understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. And that is the second point. وَبَيِّنَاتٍ مِنَ الْهُدَى. And it's a clear proof for the ones of guidance. And how is that? We need to understand. And then comes the third message and the most important message, Farhan. And what's Farhan? It's a criteria between haqq and batil, between the right path and the wrong path, between the truth and between the guidance. This is the true understanding. No matter now if we do not speak or we do not understand the language, now is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. When you start understanding the Quran, you upgrade yourself in order to look into the Quran. What is the truth? What is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling you to follow? And what is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling you to abstain? And that brings me to a story, an amazing story in my own life. And I really thank Allah. As much as I thank Allah, I mean, it's not enough. And I really thank Allah that He made me from the ones who understand Quran. You know, it's a long time ago, back in the days when I used to be in UK, and I was praying besides some brothers, and it was in my local masjid, and Imam was reciting some ayahs, and the ayah was, I still remember, it was from the ayah of Surah Zumar, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Imam, when he recited this ayah, that he said, الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا لَا تَقْنَتُوا مِنْ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ. That people who are extravagant, do not lose hope in the mercy of Allah. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do not be despair the mercy of Allah. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ جَمِيعًا. I remember when the Imam recited this ayah, I nodded my head, and the man, as soon as the salah finished, the guy was beside me, and he said, do you understand what the Imam says? Did you understand? I say, yeah, I understand the meaning of it, but sometimes I do need tafsir in order to understand the ayahs and other things. I mean, to go into much detail. He says, when will I understand Quran like you? And when he said that, I felt, wallahi, I felt so privileged that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the opportunity that we could learn Quran, that we could understand the meaning. But there are so many people who want to do that. And even that, having said that, we need to make an effort in our lives. Brothers and sisters, no matter where we go in the masajids, we see a bulk of the people who are coming to the masajid for salah, they do not understand what the Imam recites. They just stand there every day. Is the same day for them. There is no change coming. That's why this ayah, and then no guidance is coming. Going back to what? There is nothing wrong with the fasting. There is nothing wrong with the Quran. There is nothing wrong with Ramadan. Whatever the issue is coming back to you and me. Why? Because we have to bring these three fuels in our life, and especially in this Ramadan. And what is that? هُدًى لِلنَّاسِ وَبَيِّنَاتٍ مِنَ الْهُدَى وَالْفُرْقَانِ. So it's a book of guidance. You know, we don't really need Arabic for that. We read it, we try to memorize it, we try to recite it in the beautiful voices. And now having bayinat, now that requires a little effort. Now we need to look at the meanings. We need to learn the Arabic language, the grammar. We don't have to order the shawarma in the restaurant. We have to understand the Arabic. For that, the bare minimum grammar will help you in order to understand that. And now, if we really are looking for the real guidance, and that real guidance is the differentiation, is the criterion between the truth and the falsehood. And that is Farhan. And that Farhan, we need to upgrade our lives, not just understanding the Quran. We need to look at the tafsir books. We need to look at the hadith books. And that is how we are going to get that pure guidance. We're going to get that Al-Farhan. So I want to leave you with this ayah, this little part of the ayah, that this Ramadan, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, will only come once we start understanding the Quran. So brothers and sisters, spend more time with the Quran and take the benefit of the time that's in your hands, because there'll be no gatherings, there'll be no Taraweeh, there'll be nothing like that. You'll be on your own, in your houses. Take your time out, pick up the books of tafsir so you can understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. أقول قولي هذا استغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفر الله إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.